let's look at how we can start to composite our renders together using DaVinci Fusion. That way we can really dial in the look of our renders and get exactly what we're going for. So I am going to be using Fusion Studio. You can use the free version of Fusion inside of DaVinci Resolve. It's basically the same thing, missing a few nodes, but I'm not using any of those inside of this. So you can use the same thing for free inside of Resolve. Just go ahead and download that. Resolve is free. If you do get the full version of Resolve, then you get Fusion Studio as well. Personally, I just like the way the Studio is laid out. I don't really like the layout of Resolve's UI. So I'm going to be using Fusion Studio for this. At least the UI for Fusion inside of Resolve is kind of crappy in my opinion. But we're going to use Fusion Studio here. So this is also going to be using the render that we completed for that you saw in the beginning is for the Keen Tools GeoTracker demo, and they have actually decided to sponsor this video as well. So you can jump on over to keentools.io and you can click on the GeoTracker for Houdini. It is in open beta currently at the time of recording. So you can go ahead and download it and play around with it all for free inside of Houdini. It works really, really well. If you don't know what it is, I would definitely go check out the video that I have on it. But this is basically a geometry tracking tool for Houdini. It works all inside of Houdini. You can also track cameras with it. So it does track geo, but it also is capable of tracking cameras. And that is what I did for this little render here. So definitely a super solid tool. There's lots of different things that you can, track with it. It's very intuitive to use. It's very, quick and easy to pick up. And I definitely recommend you go through and give it a shot, especially in this open beta. There's no reason not to. It is a free open beta, so you can go ahead and just download it and play with it and see what you can come up with. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump over to Fusion Studio. Thank you, Keen Tools, for sponsoring this video. So check that out. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well, or you can just go to that keentools.io. But anyways, let's jump to Fusion here, and this is going to be the Fusion kind of interface here. I'm going to set this to a different layout though. So we're going to come to Window, let's go to View Layouts, and then I'm going to you can either do mid-flow or mid-flow vertical. Both of them are nice layouts in my opinion, a little bit nicer than that default layout. These are the two that I use kind of the most often. So in here, this is where all of our nodes go. So I can go ahead and press Control and Space, and that's going to give us kind of like that tab menu inside of Houdini. We also have some buttons up here that are going to be like shortcuts for the nodes. So I'm going to go ahead and just click this one. This is going to be the loader. We also have the saver. So these two are going to be two that you use in basically everything that you do. So I can click that. That is going to give us a loader here. And we can go through and we can select our footage or whatever. So let's go ahead. I'm going to paste in that. I guess no, I didn't have that one saved. Let's go ahead. I'm going to jump over here and just grab that file path from the project. And once we have that, we can either press the 1 or the 2 key to populate the viewers here, or we can drag them over. So if I press 1, you can see this is kind of dragged over. I can do it to this one as well. If I want to disable that, I can press 2. If I want to disable the top one, I can press 1. And then I can update them based off of that as well. So I've got this now. By default, it should come in looking like this. I've already set them up, but you can go to this OCIO color space. You can click Edit, and then you can navigate to your OCIO file. And then we just want to set this to, I'm using ACES 1.2 for this. I've also got a video on how to properly set this all up inside of Fusion and Houdini and everything so that everything matches. Kind of messed up in this video, or for this render, but this is what I did for the final project. So it works for getting the result that I wanted. So we have this ACES CG as the source space, and then output sRGB for the output space here. And I've just done the same for this one down here as well. The same thing here. And you can toggle those on and off just by clicking that little button right there. So we have this. Let's go ahead and bring in our footage here. I'm just going to copy this node and just paste it over. It's just a loader that points to the same thing. If I pop this onto this down here, Control and scroll wheel will scroll in and out, and then you can middle mouse button and kind of pan around there. So I'm going to toggle that off here for this footage because it is not actually in the ACES format. So we don't want to do any sort of conversion here. It's already set up the way that we need it. So I can just take this output here and I can drag this onto our merge here. And if I just press 2 or 1, we can drag them over our viewers as well, but it'll populate the different viewers here. So I'll set that one back to the top one and this to the bottom here. And this is kind of our final footage, but you notice that we don't have this kind of same color that you have here. That is because while this is an ACES CG, this is not. So I need to actually convert this to sRGB because this is just having a display kind of placed over that. So we can toggle this back on, but you can see that's going to change our colors of our background as well, which we don't want. So if I drop down that OCIO color space node, control and space, like I said, we'll bring that up. If I click on this node and drag it over our line here, you should be able to anyways. Sorry, I have to hold shift. And you can click and drag over the line and it will just place that in. And then we can set this up as well. So I'm just going to navigate to our ACES config. We'll set that to ACES CG and then this output sRGB. And now we can see that we have the same thing being applied to both. And you do actually have to have this node in here in order for it to render to disk with the proper color space. So make sure that you have this in and then you have one of your viewers with this turned off so that you're not double applying things. So you can see that our colors are all wrong there because we have things being applied twice. So if this is all we wanted to do, then we could just do that and we've got our footage in here. Or if we wanted to take more control over our look of our object, we can take this. I'm just going to move this off to the side and I'm going to copy and paste it up here. And I can come to this format. Now I do have Fusion, I think I'm on Fusion 20. Make sure you're on like the newest version of Fusion that way, or I guess Resolve, either way. That way you have some of the quality of life tools that are in the newer versions that are not in the older ones. One of those is working with EXRs and splitting out the different passes. So if I come to this format, we can split out, we can see all of our different passes here. So by default, it's going to be set to the beauty, which is that C. If we wanted to, we can set this to our direct diffuse. Let's go ahead and preview this. So I'm going to press 1. It's going to place it on our first viewer there. So I'm going to make a couple of copies of this. I'm going to set this one to indirect diffuse. Let's set this one to glossy reflection. And then we'll set this one to this indirect glossy. Now, we don't want to just make a bunch of merges to get these all together. So if I were to just drag this onto the output, we get a merge here. But this doesn't give us kind of the right look in the end. So you don't actually want to do that. We want to press Control and Space, and we want to type in channel, and we're going to do a channel Boolean. You don't want this channel Boolean here that says 3 bool. That is going to be a 3D one. So we want to use this second one here, channel Booleans. And we've got a couple of different things on this node and really kind of all of these nodes. And they're the different inputs and outputs. So if I hover over this yellow input is going to be the background. The green one is going to be the foreground. This blue one is going to be the effect mask. This white one is going to be a matte. And this last one here is going to be your output. And we're just going to ignore that white one for now. We're not going to use that in in the final project. I did use some of these effects masks. So we can just take our output and we can drag this onto the node, and it's going to automatically wire it up into where it thinks it belongs, which is going to be the background first and then the foreground here. And we can set this operation to add. And now we go from having this to this. So we're starting to build this out. I can copy this again and we'll take this output, wire this into the input there. We'll wire that over for our input for the foreground. And you can see that we can start to build up our render here. So we'll take that output here, drag this over, and we'll just continue to add these together. So get a little bit of a difference here, and then we can go ahead and wire this into our input for our color space. And then we don't have everything kind of set up the way it needs to. We do need to input the alpha here for this to work. So I'm going to go ahead and just at this point jump over to the final comp, which is a little bit of a journey here. So essentially, I've taken the directive fuse here, and you can click this, by the way, and this will kind of make one of these viewers go away. So again, I'm just taking that directive fuse. All I've done is set these to that. Just doing a little bit of color correction here. Let's go ahead and actually turn on, I guess we don't have the display. Let's go ahead and set that color space so we see the proper colors. And output sRGB. So we start with this, just color correcting a little bit here. Then we're doing this, I've renamed this tool, but this is that channel Boolean. So I'm adding in the indirect diffuse here that I've also color corrected. So we've got our indirect diffuse, a little bit of color correction, got our direct diffuse, and then our channel Booleans here, we're bringing in that direct reflection. We've got the indirect reflection there. I'm adding in some ambient occlusion here with our AO pass. And again, we can come to any of these loaders here and we come to the formats. You can see that I've got all of these different passes that we have in there. Then I just do a little bit of color correction on that. I add some haze to it. And then I've got another color correction here. So just to affect that a little bit more. And then this is where we're kind of taking the alpha and adding them in, and then we're re-adding in the shadow pass because things aren't don't make a lot of sense the way this works inside of Fusion and like the way it's rendered out of Houdini. So I'm taking our beauty pass here, so I've set this to C, just taking this, and I'm shuffling this into the alpha. So this is, I guess, I call it shuffling, but it's not a shuffle. It's I don't even remember. There's a bunch of different nodes. You can right click and go in here. It's one of the newer nodes. It's like swap or something like that. Swizzler, that's what it's called. So this is a Swizzler node. In Nuke, it's called a shuffle. So Swizzler, and then we're taking the alpha. So I've got this set to the RGBA with the input 1, set to match, and then the input 2 with match. So we want to take this alpha source and make that the input 2. That's where this RGB/A is. It's kind of splitting those out. So make sure you switch over to this one, and then we're going to use the alpha source of our second input. So this is our first input. You can see here we've got our input 1, and I've added a second input, so input 2. That's our beauty pass. So we're basically just taking the beauty pass, and then we're bringing the alpha in from that. And then for the shadow pass, I'm subtracting out the alpha just by selecting, I've got our crypto mat here. I'm selecting using the wand tool to select that crypto mat object. And actually, you don't have to do this. You can do it directly with a crypto mat node, but I had this set this way because I was kind of working through figuring out how it all worked. There's some stuff you have to do to make it all work properly inside of Fusion. So anyways, we've got the Swizzler here. We're taking that and we're applying this to the mask. So this mask is only pulling in our object here. That way we subtract out our object. And then I kind of bring this all back in later. So I've got this holdout shadows that I'm bringing back in and placing them all back over each other. So we go from the shadows, let's go here, and then this color corrector, which again is just, actually, this is where I bring in the shadows, I believe, yeah. So we go from this to this, and then just adding in a bunch of different things to this so that we end up with a final render with our light wrap. This is the final output down here. Let's turn that off here. You can see what we get. So once we've got this OCO, once we hit this OCIO color space node, we would just want to get rid of that. Add some clouds in there, and then we're just merging that over our background, and then just doing a little bit of recoloring to the shadows just to make them match. So we go from this kind of greenish, kind of darkish type of a shadow to these more reds that match our actual shadows here and our video footage here. And then I just do a little bit of light wrap, which is kind of subtle, but it adds a little bit. Specifically, you can see kind of here, get a little bit of that light kind of wrapping around there. And you can also do an A/B conversion here. So if I set this to buffer wipe, so we can look at what we started. So I'll just drag that into the second half here. And you can see we go from this to this. And you can kind of rotate this as well if we click on the line. So you can buffer wipe back between them all however you want. And then you can just pop this back to that and split back to your viewers there. So I just wanted to quickly touch on how we can start to, build out our scenes and start to recomposite our scenes back together. If you guys are interested, I will do more of this compositing stuff and kind of show, step-by-step rebuild it all. If that's something that you guys are interested in, I just wanted to kind of introduce Fusion in the concept of compositing, because I haven't really done very much of that on this channel. So I wanted to see, kind of gauge the interest. So if you're interested in more compositing specifically inside of Fusion, but also I'm not opposed to taking a look at it inside of Houdini as well, because it does have the COPS, the new COPS context that we can start to do some basic compositing. They don't have as many tools as like Fusion or Nuke does, but the kind of concepts are the same, where you're going to be kind of layering things on top of each other and kind of rebuilding things as you go. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, let me know, and we can do more of that here in the future. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you to Keen Tools for sponsoring this video. Definitely go and check out the Geo Tracker for Houdini. Super awesome tool that works directly inside of Houdini. And again, this shot would not have been possible without it. So everything that you see in here came from that. As far as, I guess, not this background video footage, but everything that we're doing as far as compositing goes came and was made possible because of GeoTracker. So definitely check it out and give them some feedback while it's in open beta. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.